Good day, fam, and welcome or welcome back to another episode of JustReikkoTV. It's just me, Rico, and I'm gonna be your host for today. Now, today I am in my workstation. Because what I'm planning to do today is I have two plants. I have this cayenne pepper plant right here, and then I have this cantaloupe plant right here. And what I'm about to do is I'm about to transplant these two plants into containers and get them out into the garden. Now, if you guys watch my last video, I told you guys that if I didn't see any growth in my 10-gallon pot from the cantaloupe seed that I direct sowed outside, then I would go ahead and transplant this one into that pot. And then I know you guys have been hearing me talk about this pot right here that has my cilantro in it. And this pot hasn't been doing the best. So I told myself that I would transplant my cayenne pepper plant into there. Now, I did decide, because since I mentioned taking the cilantro out of the pot, I did realize that my cilantro started to grow. So I did a little bit of research and I found out that I can plant my pepper plant with my cilantro plant, as they are good companion plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the cilantro in there, and then I'm just going to add my cayenne pepper plant to it. It's crazy because this cayenne pepper plant has just been sitting to the side and it has just been growing. I already had picked some peppers off of it that started to grow, but then more started to grow on there, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it alone, because it's not a very small plant. It's about 12 inches. So I'm like, I'll just leave the peppers on there and let them do their thing. So yeah, so guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started on that. Now, I do have a few things that I use that I wanted to share with you guys that I use to basically amend my soil. Right here, I got some bone meal. I got earthworm castings. I got some blood meal, and then I do have some all-purpose plant food. Now, all of these things I am going to be adding to the soil so I can amend the soil again just a little bit. I did amend the soil before planting in each one of these bags, so I'm not going to be using too much of the amendments for the soil. So let us go ahead. I'm going to be starting with the cayenne pepper plant, and then we'll transplant the cantaloupe plant. And I just wanted you guys to see how I do when I transplant my plants. All right, let's ride. All right, so right here, I'm gonna grab my shovel, and the first thing I want to do is the first thing I'm gonna do is make a hole to the side of the cilantro, because I don't want to interfere with the roots of the cilantro. So the cayenne peppers are not going to be directly in the middle of the pot. They're going to be planted basically to the side of the pot. So I'm just gonna dig up a little bit of dirt right there. Okay. Yep, that should be good and deep enough. Then got some earthworm castings. Just gonna add just a little bit in there. Bone meal. Not too much. Got some blood meal. Then I got the all-purpose fertilizer. And I'm just gonna sprinkle just a little bit in there. And then I'm just gonna mix it up just a little bit. All right. And that is good. Then It's really simple. I'm gonna grab the cayenne pepper plant and just do a little bit of squeeze on there. And look at those roots. Looks really, really good. So that means as soon as I plant it in here, it should be ready to go ahead and take off. And then I'm just gonna place that at the same height of the actual dirt in there. And then I'm just gonna push the dirt back around there. It is kind of growing at an angle, and that's okay. But I'm just gonna push that down. And then that's really it. Let me grab the water and I'm gonna water some of that in, and then we'll be good to go. Yeah, that looks good. Let me grab some water. All right. Got my little watering thingy. And then peppers do not like to be watered often, but when you do water them, you just want to make sure that you water it deeply. So you want to make sure that there is definitely quite a bit of water in there, so it'll go ahead and get established pretty quickly. I'm just making sure that it waters, and it waters deep. All right, and that looks pretty good. And so that has been planted. I'm gonna go ahead and get it back out to the bed, and we'll come back and transplant the cantaloupe into our 10-gallon pot. All right, be right back. All right, next we have our 10-gallon grow bag, and I have all of this mulch in there. So I have to take this mulch out first. 1 second, let me grab something to put the mulch in. All right, so I got a little Lowe's bucket, and I'm just gonna transfer the mulch into there. And I do have to mulch that pepper plant as well, but I'm actually gonna do that just a little bit later. All right, that's good. And then what I'm gonna do is dig a little hole right there in the center. Oh, that's some nice moist soil. I just don't understand why my seeds didn't germinate from this soil, because this soil is some really, really good soil. Once again, I'm gonna add my amendments. Earthworm castings, just a little bit. Bone meal. Oh, oops. All-purpose plant food. A little bit of blood meal. And then I'm just gonna use my hands, get my hands dirty to mix that in just a little bit. And then I'm just gonna flip that upside down. Nice root development on that plant as well. And then just gonna stick it right there in that hole. And then put the dirt right back. Pat it in there. And grab the water. And just get some water right in there. I'm not gonna be watering this too much because because the soil is still pretty moist, and I'm just about to put the mulch right back around it. You know what? Let me put a little bit more because it was pretty dry when I took it out of the pot. Yep. So that's perfect. And then all I'm gonna do is put the mulch right back in there. Mulch all around there. Mulch all around there. And that is basically it. It's drooping right now because, like I said, it was just sitting on the side. It was one of the extra plants that I had, and it's perfect because, you know, like I said, the other seeds didn't germinate. So I'm gonna move this right over to the garden and I'll be right back. All right, guys, and that was it. It was basically just that simple to transplant the plants. One of the biggest things is to make sure that your soil is nice and loose and well draining. I made my own soil with compost. What else did I have on there in there? Cocoa coir, perlite, and vermiculite, and then I added all of my amendments to it. So I have really, really good soil. So in the next few days, when I show you guys the video update of my garden, I'll let you guys see those plants that I transplanted, let you guys see how they're doing, and that's about it. It's just that simple. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It's just me, Rico, from JustReikkoTV, and until the next time, fam, peace.